business, about performance, about profits, about costs and investments. But what drives all of this? Essentially, it's people. People that make up 90% of the operating costs. People are the ones that drive business performance, and healthy people perform better. Health is something that we can't take for granted, especially in countries like China and India, where air pollution is really rife. The World Health Organization estimates that 7 million deaths are caused every year by breathing polluted air alone. Water is also essential to human life. Yet water is contaminated, and that means our drinking supply can actually be harmful to our health, to plant health, to animal health. So that's something we need to be aware of and make sure that we look after. Our city lives are leading us to live very close together. Urban density, we're surrounded by concrete, we're surrounded by artificial light. Light is actually what keeps our circadian rhythm in sync. That's what regulates our sleep-wake cycle. And if we are exposed to inappropriate light or insufficient light, that can have huge problems, such as sleeplessness. 70.3% of Hong Kongers report having poor quality sleep, and up to 50% get less than the recommended 7 hours per night. Unfortunately, the human body cannot survive with no sleep. So we need to make sure we change these environments and we improve our sleep. We're also sitting a lot more. Our urban environments mean we sit, whether that's at work, at home on the sofa, or in a car, leading to the incidence of musculoskeletal disease. 80% of those surveyed in Asia had musculoskeletal conditions of one or more last year. So again, we are risking our own health. Technology, as well as urbanization, has really revolutionized the way we do everything. The way we work, the way we play, the way we communicate, the way we transport, there pretty much is an app for everything. That has pros, but it also has some cons, and we need to be mindful of how we use technology. We're always connected. Everybody is always on some form of technology. It's good because we're connected to our families, we're connected to information, we're connected, though, also to work. Does that mean that we have a lack of human interaction? Perhaps we're looking at our screens too much. Perhaps we're experiencing information overload, which blurs our focus. Do we really focus all the time? When we're on, are we really on? Or is it a case of presenteeism, when we turn up physically, but really we're not actually there? This is causing companies losses of billions. It's not all bad news. Technology has actually let us improve our wellness in some ways. The rise of wearables has let people track lots and lots of health, and employers have actually jumped on this by introducing competitions, online platforms, ways in which people can keep health at the forefront of their minds. Not just online, but also through the design of building space. So people have started to build wellness into their workplace strategies and workplace design. Wellness standards have emerged over the last few years. The Well Building Standard being one, which was launched in 2014, now has over 860 projects worldwide, with the biggest market here in Asia. Last week, on Thursday, they actually released Well version 2, which is the next step of the wellness journey. That expanded the original 7 concepts to 10, calling out materials, sound, and community as standalone items, and changing the fitness concept to movement, showing that that's actually what we need to be thinking about in our days. So who is doing this? Companies that want to lead, companies that want a competitive advantage, companies that want to attract millennials that are going to take over our workplace. 75% of the workplace will be made up of millennials by 2025, and they want wellness, and they demand it. So what do? Start small. You don't have to have a massive office renovation or a big budget. You can actually make some small tweaks that have a big impact, such as increasing ventilation rates. That can lead to 101% cognitive performance improvement. Really small changes are the things that can make all the difference. And use technology. Use it to our advantage. Measure and monitor what's going on in your space or your building. Communicate and connect with your people. Everybody's on their phones anyway. Everybody's looking down. Send them data and let them talk back. Then we can really improve our working environment and have our people engaged with the space. This is one example of an app about air quality, developed in Beijing off the back of Airpocalypse. It gives data on the weather, the air quality outside, according to this, is terrible, and an action. So people actually know what to do with the data. According to this, get a better mask. Perhaps not the best advice, but it definitely helps. So in your space as an occupier, what actions can you take? Maximize natural light, create a range of seating solutions so people are supported, they're comfortable. Activate stairwells so that people are encouraged to move. There's lots of things that you can do that are small, but is significant. As developers, you can also make a huge impact. Start using healthy materials, incorporate natural spaces. Give your tenants a reason to choose your building. Give them a leg up on the wellness front and let them actually use the amenities that you are providing. Why would you do all of this? For this reason. Reduce sickness so that people can actually work properly. Reduce employee turnover. Don't have them running away to a competitor who's doing it better. Increase productivity. Have people that are actually working when they're at work. All of this leads to big profits. All of this investment, you can see ROI on your bottom line. And why? Because when we Google wellness, this is what you see. You don't see high panels and lots of gray all around the place. So we can start to design our offices, our workplaces, our communities and companies so that we don't just survive, but that we actually thrive. This is our natural environment.